Hey guys, I'm Seth with Hornady, and I'm joined today by Neil Davies, the marketing director, and Joe Thielen, our assistant director of engineering. And we're talking today about a brand new product for the international customers. It's the ECX Bullet, the Extreme Copper Alloy Expanding. This is something we designed specifically for those international customers. And Neil, what is the ECX Bullet?
Well, this builds on the legacy that Hornady has had since at least 2009. So the GMX was kind of the foundational product that began, our journey in these monolithic copper alloy projectiles. Joe and his team have been, the designers of these products, and the goal has always been to produce a highly accurate, extremely efficient, and phenomenal terminal performance within that monolithic copper alloy platform.
Okay, so from a terminal performance standpoint, and with our international customers in mind, what's that ECX designed for?
So the ECX, first and foremost, is designed to be very accurate.
Okay.
And then secondary to that is it has to have terminal performance. For the demands and the hunting scenarios and stuff that they're commonly found in, the bullet has to shoot well and it's got to hit hard, it's got to expand, penetrate, all of those things. They demand that from the projectiles.
So from an accuracy standpoint, now the way I understand it, Joe, your team specifically designed these bullet shapes to lend themselves to accuracy for our international customers. Can you talk about that?
Sure, absolutely. Well, they have unique chamberings. I mean, they don't shoot common chambering in Europe is necessarily not a common chambering in the United States. So
Sure.
yes, we took that into account, looked at the throats and geometries of that, and then designed the projectiles with the ogive profile. The tip and the shape and everything of those bullets is very forgiving in those platforms that they shoot regularly in the international scene.
Awesome. So again, that shape, the bearing surface, the ogive, optimized to really enhance that accuracy and make them forgiving of twist rate and different throat geometry. That's great. Now on the terminal side of it, Neil, what are some of the instances internationally, the different hunting styles maybe than we see here in America that bullet is really geared towards?
Yeah, the king of the hunting experience in majority of Europe is going to be driven hunts.
Okay.
So in those scenarios, shots are relatively close. Game is typically on the move. So you're talking 50 meters thereabouts for maximum lethality. So this new bullet was developed, with driven hunts, that kind of terminal performance that you're looking for when it's up close, as well as for the folks that are going to be sitting in a high seat. So that's another method that's used a lot. So much like we do over here, they're sitting in a stand, they're waiting for game to pass through, and they're going to shoot, probably 200 meters or less is typically the ranges that these animals will be encountered in. So the ECX, it's a copper alloy bullet. It's not a solid copper bullet. That's a big distinction from a lot of the competition. Joe can expound on that, but primarily it's a tougher, harder, more rugged bullet. It doesn't leave as much fouling in your bore. There are pressure relieving grooves, which Joe can also chat about as well, that move some of that material around so you don't have any kind of pressure issues in that. It's a very intelligently designed projectile, suited extremely well for those European hunting situations, as well as maximize performance from the chamber design. Some of these chambers are, it's an old chamber design. They had, long round nose bullets were kind of a mainstay back when a lot of these cartridges were developed. So in order to make sure that we have got that accuracy that we're looking for from those cartridges and those chamberings, we've designed bullets that accommodate that.
That's great.
Absolutely.
And so, Joe, that copper alloy material, like Neil mentioned, what kind of separates that from using pure copper, and how did we optimize that for this bullet?
Sure. So this alloy material is the same material that we use in our CX bullets and our monolithic bullets. It's a very good material from a terminal performance standpoint. It's very tough. It's rugged. But another attribute is it does not foul or build up in the bore in the throat as a common, pure copper material. It's not as sticky or gummy.
Okay.
So it lends itself on both ends of the spectrum, gives you good terminal performance, and you can shoot it quite a bit.
With a lot of these international type cartridges and chambers, like you mentioned, Neil, round nose bullets were really a staple for a long time. Now on this bullet specifically, it's not a round nose, but it's also not a spire shape. So Joe, talk to us about that tip shape and what that does for us.
Yeah, I think we should talk about the whole ogive shape in general, with the including of the tip. So, as you said, round nose bullets were common, still are for that matter, in the European front. So they had chambers that were unique to accept those round nose long throats with shallow angles and stuff. So we wanted to develop a projectile that was a little more aerodynamic efficient than a round nose. So a typical conical ogive. But what happens is you need that profile to be very full, so it fills the throat, if you will. So when you do that, it's hard to get the ogive length and all the geometry to work out. So we took a polymer tip and truncated it off so it appears flat.
Okay.
And that gives you the lengths and the radiuses and everything that'll come out to build the profile that you need to fit and shoot well in these chambers that they commonly shoot in Europe.
Yeah, and that polymer tip helps to initiate expansion. So the front of the bullet is going to expand and open up really, fast upon contact. Now it's a controlled expansion projectile. So that then starts to fold back and create that mushroom that we're all looking for. It is a copper alloy projectile, so it's going to retain a lot of weight. It's going to be 95+% weight retention. So that's going to penetrate very deeply. Any contact with bone is not going to be a factor here. Those bullets are going to, we can never promise that they're going to provide pass-throughs, but most of the time on the majority of game at specific ranges and things like that, this projectile will go all the way through. So if there's not, immediate incapacitation and, lethal effects right then and there will be a blood trail, and those animals will be easy to find.
All right, that's a great explanation on the front side of that bullet. Now on the aft portion, there's some design features there that help with the accuracy and overall just its performance. Joe, what are we looking at on the back side of that bullet?
So behind the ogive, if you will, on the driving band of the bearing surface, there'll be the grooves. We call them cannler grooves, but they could be pressure relief grooves, or they serve a couple of purposes. Number one, it gives you a cannler location to crimp the case mouth into if need be for feeding and reliability. Number two is it gives that material, we're dealing with a monolithic solid copper material, and when you fire it, it gives that engraved material from the rifling a place to go.
Okay.
That really helps with fouling and really helps with accuracy. One other feature of this bullet is we took, these are flat base, don't have a boat tail. And the reason you do that is they fill the bore better and you get a better muzzle exit condition. So they're inherently a little more accurate, especially out of the barrels and chambers and stuff that we're going to encounter with these bullets and the ammunition.
That's great. So the new ECX from Hornady, a monolithic bullet, a copper alloy bullet. It's going to hit hard, it's going to penetrate well, and it's going to have the best accuracy that we can make. Now that bullet's going to be available as a reloading component and also in factory loaded ammunition. So for more information on this product and others, check out our social media platforms. And as always, Hornady.com.